You know, in the competitive world of hospitality, it seems like we're always focused on winning new business, right? But what if I told you that the real key to long-term success isn't just about finding new clients, but about mastering the art of keeping the ones you already have? Today, we are going to explore why client retention is the absolute core commercial strategy for any successful hotel. And that message right there really gets to the heart of it. See, professional growth in this industry, it's not just about what you learn from a textbook. It's about mastering the core operations that actually drive success. And believe me, few things are more central to that success than how you build and maintain your client relationships. So here's how we're going to break this all down today, using a pretty simple framework: investment and return. First, we're going to unpack the real cost of winning a new client. Then, we'll dive into the core strategy to protect that big initial investment. And finally, we'll see how it all pays off, looking at both the immediate returns you get and the long-term dividends. Okay, let's get right into it. Before we can even begin to talk about keeping a client, we have to get real about just how much it costs to win them over in the first place. And it's not a small number. It's a major upfront commitment of both money and resources. This is where a fundamental rule of business comes into play. Bringing a new corporate partner on board, well, that requires a pretty significant investment right out of the gate. But as we're about to see, nurturing an existing relationship is not only way less expensive, but it almost always generates much higher profits over the long run. And these costs, man, they add up fast. Just think about it. Your sales teams are spending countless hours prospecting and going to events. They're crafting these super detailed proposals, then spending even more time in negotiations. And that's before you even factor in the costs of site inspections, marketing, and travel. All of that just to build that first little layer of trust. If that client walks away, your return on that huge investment is basically gone. So you've made that big investment, you've secured the client. Awesome. Now comes the most critical part: having a strategy to protect and grow that asset. This right here is where a hotel's long-term stability is truly built. Building loyalty doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a journey, and it all starts with the absolute baseline. You have to fulfill every single promise you made during negotiations. But to really lock in that relationship, you've got to move past the transactional stuff and start delivering proactive service, and ultimately building a real, genuine emotional connection. And this is such a crucial point. Simply meeting the terms of a contract, that's not loyalty. That's just doing your job. It's the bare minimum that's expected. Real, lasting loyalty, the kind that makes a client stick with you even when they get a better offer, that's built in the space beyond those basic expectations. It's about showing you care about their success, not just their business. So, what does proactive service actually look like? Well, imagine this. A sales manager calls up a corporate travel planner to give them a heads up about a huge citywide event that's going to crush room availability next quarter. This allows the planner to adjust their team's travel way in advance. See? That's not just service, that's a partnership. You're looking out for them. But of course, things don't always go perfectly, right? A check-in gets delayed, there's a Wi-Fi issue in the conference room. What really matters is how you respond. When a client sees you handle a problem like a pro, you acknowledge it, you figure it out, and you communicate clearly, it can actually make them trust you more. A well-managed problem shows integrity, and it can make the relationship even stronger than it was before. Okay, so we've done the work. Now for the fun part, the payoff. Let's really dig into the tangible returns a hotel gets from mastering retention. Because this strategy doesn't just feel good, it has a direct and really powerful impact on your bottom line. Take a look at this. A strong base of retained clients gives you predictable, recurring booking cycles. That kind of stability is gold for your revenue teams because it lets them forecast with so much more accuracy. It basically replaces the chaotic, up and down nature of last-minute business with a solid foundation you can actually build on. And it's not just about the revenue coming in. Think about the efficiency gains. With partners you already have, you spend way less time trying to persuade them or going through long negotiations. The whole conversation shifts from a sales pitch to a collaborative planning session. And that frees up your sales team to be much more strategic, making the entire operation more profitable. But the benefits don't just stop there with the immediate profit. The true long-term value comes from the dividends that your loyal partners pay out over time. This is where a good client relationship transforms into a seriously powerful strategic advantage. So the first dividend is organic growth. Once that trust is really locked in, a client who maybe only booked rooms before might suddenly look at your property and think, hey, this would be the perfect place for our annual conference. That kind of expansion just happens naturally, without a big sales push, because you've already proven you're a partner they can rely on. Then, over time, these strong relationships start to evolve. A client might actually grant your hotel preferred supplier status. This is huge. It's a formal alliance that secures a stable, long-term stream of business for you. And for them, it's the peace of mind of working with a partner they absolutely trust. It's a true win-win. And this might be the most powerful dividend of all: advocacy. A happy client becomes your absolute best marketing tool. When an event planner recommends your hotel to their colleagues, that referral carries incredible weight. It generates highly qualified new business for you at almost zero acquisition cost. You just can't buy that kind of marketing. So, when you boil it all down, client retention isn't just some sales tactic. It's really the core philosophy of hospitality itself. It's about turning simple transactions into these enduring alliances by making your partners feel respected, supported, and truly valued. So the real question for you is, as a future leader, how will you make that happen?